If you had a parent who used to, amongst many other things, parentify you, this video might resonate with you. Hi, my name is Alicia and welcome to another episode of my Harsh Truths with Alicia Griffiths podcast, where we talk about, guess what, harsh truths. So if you are new here, subscribe to this channel so you will not miss any upcoming episodes of my videos as well as my brand new podcast. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about how to stop being overly emotionally available to everyone, why you might be emotionally available overly, how to stop it, and why you should stop it. So let's start with why you should stop it, as if it's not obvious enough for many people, because actually it is not, and it was not obvious enough for me for a while. However, recently I have become a mom, and ever since I became a mom, my time has become incredibly scarce. My time and my energy as well. I don't have free resources to keep on giving and sparing, basically to keep watering where it doesn't grow. I am super busy. My whole day is filled from morning till evening. There is so much that goes into being a mom, building a business, running a household, taking care of being fit, being healthy, taking care of a whole human, about my relationship with my husband, about my friends, about everything. There are resources and everyone has a limit. And how you allocate those resources throughout the day has a huge impact on how your day is and how your days are, has an impact on how your months are, and how your months are has an impact on how your years are, and in overall it all affects how your life is. So since I became a mom, it made me realize even more that I really have outgrown lots of friendships from the past. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I was resisting from admitting that because deep inside I thought it was making me a bad friend and a bad person to say that I have outgrown friends, because we are taught as a woman, we are being taught as women to be convenient, to be polite, to be accommodating, to manage everyone's emotions. At least I was growing up with a mom who used to parentify me a lot. And that creates some sort of people-pleasing personality that you think that you are obliged or you are responsible for accommodating everyone's needs, managing everyone's emotions, being everyone's therapist, solving everyone's problems, and you end up depleted. So yeah, it made me realize I have outgrown lots of friends, but I will get back to that in a moment. But let me go back now to why you should stop being emotionally overly available to people. First of all, it's draining. It takes a whole lot of energy to be always there for everyone and basically keep uplifting other people and constantly reassure them, constantly listening to their problems, trying to solve, trying to help, trying to listen, trying to be that, basically a therapist, free therapist for everyone. Second, what I realize is that I don't help people by trying to solve the problems, because if people keep venting about the same issues for around 8 years, they are not looking for a solution. They are looking for a person to just take their venting or reaffirm their reality. So that's why, when you grow older in life, you notice that similar people hang out with each other, and people who are stuck in life, they like to surround themselves with other people who are stuck in life as well, because that reaffirms their reality in thinking that there's nothing wrong with them. The problem is the words. Like, for example, lots of the friends that I'm in particular now referring to are the friends who struggle to make anything out of their personal life. So they are stuck in the same situation 8 years. For 8 years or more, we are all around 40, and they are still single, still complaining that all men are bad, still complaining that it's so hard to find a partner. And me, despite of outgrowing that reality, despite of escaping that reality, despite from progressing in life by getting married, starting my own family, having a child, I am still being dragged to that dynamic of trying to make them feel better about themselves and trying to solve those problems. And I realized, first of all, those problems are not solvable. They need therapy because there's so much wrong in their behavioral patterns that when I try to point it out, it will only create resentment and anger because they don't see it. So maybe if they pay someone to point it out, they will see it. And even if I give advice, as I mentioned in my previous podcast, free advice is not respected advice many times. And people just don't take it. They continue doing the same, and then they come back to complain about the same result. So, and it, mind you, it's not only about relationship and about men. It's also about like life situations when it comes to business, when it comes to work, employment. Some of my friends are living the reality that I worked very, very hard to leave behind. Whether it's personal life, whether it's work life, like a professional life. Yeah, I've done a lot in my life to escape reality of having to work in a corporate environment. And obviously that progression over the last 8 years was paid with lots of hard work, both in professional and personal life, for me to be where I am professionally and personally, to build what I have in terms of how I earn money, my personal life, having a husband for almost 7 years now, having a child. All this didn't fall on me from the sky. It is all my work. So why should you should stop being overly emotionally available? Because I notice that people who refuse or can't progress in life due to a variety of reasons, they like to create what is called a crab effect. If you don't know what crab effect is, they like to sit in the same bucket, and whenever the crab tries to crawl out of that bucket, they will drag this crab down. So that's what is happening with this type of dynamics, because those people are where they are in life, although they refuse to admit that, and although they will get angry to hear that, but they are where they are in life because of their mindset, because of their behavior, and because of their attitude. And I know that very well because I was growing up observing that dynamic, and I learned from that dynamic. When it comes to man and woman romantic relationship, I didn't repeat a toxic pattern. I didn't find a wrong partner for me. I don't struggle with man and woman relationship. But somehow I managed to repeat that pattern when it comes to friendships. And there was a part of this people-pleasing thing that I told you about that I applied into my friendships, that I start overly giving, overly trying to help, overly trying to solve, trying to kind of compensate and earn their liking me, their love, when in the healthy relationships that should be given for free. It should not be earned this way. And just because it was unbalanced, I created the environment in which I was constantly giving by dwelling on their misery, trying to listen to their endless venting, endless complaining, endless negativity, and over the same problems over and over and over and over and over again. Partially, it was because I moved to new countries, I didn't have new friends, so I was holding on to those friends from the past, trying to be a good person, didn't try to look like stuck up or snobbish because, oh, now I have it better in life, so I'm like gonna leave you behind. I didn't wanna be that person, and I felt that by setting boundaries, I'm going to be that person, that I'm going to be like, oh, look at me, now I'm married, now I have my family, now I have a better work, better professional life or financial situation, so I'm going to leave you behind because like you are not good enough for me. That was not my mentality. That I didn't want to exude that because I didn't think this way. So the last thing I would want was to make them feel this way. But 8 years forward, what it results in is the fact that I feel depleted, I feel drained, I feel like my time is not respected. And because because there is ever rarely talking about me. It's always talking about things that are not my reality anymore. It's always talking about things that I have outgrown. I outgrown this lifestyle. I outgrown being stuck in the same spot. It infuriates me to be stagnant. If you have a problem, you have to do everything to solve it. You have to take whatever it takes, yeah? Under my last podcast, someone asked me how I was able to pay off the mortgage faster, and there's no way around it. You have to make big steps. In order to pay a mortgage faster, you have to pay double or triple of monthly installment of what the mortgage is. And obviously, I know it's not possible. It's not everyone's reality to start doing this from tomorrow. But what I did, I moved to another country. I quit a job as a mortgage analytic in a bank, and I moved to another country, and I took a different job, which was completely not aligned with my education or experience, but paid me more, which was a job for the airlines, as you know, in Etihad. So yeah, don't complain, don't sit there, don't vent, don't record podcasts length of voice messages on WhatsApp, on whatever, to your friends, trying to seek reassurance that life is shit because that's how life works. No, get yourself together, stop draining other people, and apply action. Get inspired by people who progress in life and see what can you learn from their situation and apply it to your life. So obviously, yeah, why you should stop. It's draining, it's wasting resources, it creates this crap effect, as I mentioned. It keeps you stuck, it keeps you backwards, it robs you of your time and energy that you could spend elsewhere. And you know what I realized? I have no responsibility to manage adult people emotions to that extent. The only responsibility that I have is now pour where I am obliged to, which is my family, my son, my husband, the relationship and the life that I built. There is a huge responsibility on my shoulders to be a person who's not depleted but other people misery, to be a person who pour into where it grows. And this is my family currently. Whoever doesn't respect your boundaries, your emotional and mental boundaries is not only, you know, what people think of in general. There is also disrespecting someone's time. There is also being selfish and egocentric, only talking about yourself. Like some people, you know, you have no idea how many times I talk about I spend hours and hours on messages with people who only talk about themselves, and they just completely ignore what's going on with my life, because what is going on with my life is so far from their reality, because they don't have a partner, they work in the corporate environment. So obviously their reality is very, very, very different to my reality. So they just choose to ignore it because they don't talk about it. But yes, I should go backwards and talk about that reality, which is nuts. And it took me, as you see, years to not feel guilty about setting that boundary. So how to do it? Because there are two ways to do it. One way is to either address it with your friends, but only the mature ones will take a look at the situation and maybe decide to apply it and grow from it and apply, you know, like do some changes and see it for what it is. But that requires lots of maturity, and only one of my friends is able to have that level of maturity. And when we exchange conversation as such, she actually realized, yeah, maybe you're right, I will change that. And we move forward and we can talk about other things as well. But the other will get upset, will get offended, and they will forget about all the time that you spent on them so far, but they will be still like, oh, so you don't support me anymore, yeah? So though this is a clear sign for you to cut these relationships off. The other way to do it is just apply mirror to their face, which is just starting acting the same. Just talk about yourself purely and your things. And when they ignore it, when they move over it, like it goes over their head, they will slowly remove themselves from your life, because all of the sudden it will not be about themselves anymore. So they will lose interest in talking to you, because they are not there to give, they are there to take what is for them. So once you stop giving them supply, once you cut the resource of endlessly being emotionally available, when you start finally respecting your life, your time, your energy, your resources, and talk about yourself for a change, they will remove themselves from your life, and this is actually best thing they can do for you and for your growth and for your progress. So all in all, it's okay to outgrow certain relationship in life. It's okay to move forward with your life. It's okay not to feel guilty, to apply boundaries when your life reality is changing, when you grow, when you move forward, when you try to build something different, when you have new responsibilities arising in your life, like becoming a parent and all that. So that's all okay. And I hope it all helps. If any of you is in that situation, let me know if any of you have similar realization as you grow in life, as you enter new chapters of life, as you grow, progress, mature, and develop your reality. So yeah, I'd like to hear in the comments if that's something that you also deal with and how you deal with. Anyway, it's a beautiful Saturday. I will follow on with going about my day. I will take my son for a walk, and my dogs and my husband will join, and we will just have chilled, decompressing day to charge the battery before the new week. And that's what I wish for you. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new to this channel and to this podcast, not to miss any upcoming episodes. And I hope to see you in the next one very soon. Thank you so much for watching and for listening. Bye.